Holy sh! Hello everyone and welcome to IMRT Reviews. I'm RT and today we're doing a non-spoiler review of The Suicide Squad. I've got to say, thank God for the intro, otherwise I would have sworn for the first time on the channel. Thankfully it cut in just before that happened. As you can tell by that intro, this film made me pretty happy, so let's talk about it. The Suicide Squad is directed by one of my favourite directors of all time, James Gunn, and stars Margot Robbie, John Cena, Idris Elba, Nathan Fillion, and a whole host of other great talent, and is essentially a reboot without being a reboot, as it's got all the same actors and everyone, but you don't really need to watch the first one at all, or any other DC movies for that matter, and, you know, that's all I'll say about that. Now, this movie wastes no time at all, as we are straight into the action, and the biggest strength of this movie is the pacing. There's always something happening, it's always progressing, and instead of getting 45 minutes of backstory for each character, you know, just setting them up at the start in the first act, we learn about them on the journey, and that is super clever. Now, this is very clever for two reasons. One, we get to learn about the characters at the same time the characters learn about each other. You know, you got Bloodsport learning about Ratcatcher 2, you got John Cena's character Peacemaker learning about Bloodsport. At the same time, we are learning about them, so that is very clever. We don't know information before the characters on screen. And secondly, we get to be in this mission for even longer than, you know, I expected to be. I thought, you know, we get that 45 minutes of backstory for the characters and then we'd be in this mission, but we're in this mission for the entirety of the movie, and it feels like they put so much into the runtime of this movie that I feel like I'm going to need a second viewing to really take in everything on screen, because so much happens in this movie. My next big positive is the action. It's very bloody, very gory, it's all in shot, and there's no shaky cam, and there's some very clever shots with reflections and stuff. James Gunn, genius, I love him. And most importantly, there's a great sense of danger. Obviously no spoilers, but characters die in this movie. Obviously, I won't say who, as I just said, no spoilers, but that creates stakes. That creates a sense of danger where you're sitting on your seat and you're thinking, oh my god, my favourite character could die. And that is a great feeling, because instead of just sitting there relaxed like, oh yeah, they're going to survive, you're thinking, oh my god, what is going to happen? Now, this is a very brave decision as well, which I have to applaud. Thank you, James Gunn. As it's something you don't really see in the superhero genre or movies at all, really. You always get a sense of safety around big actors, big characters, and you think, oh, these people are going to survive. But in this film, there's no sense of safety at all, and you're like, okay, anyone can die, and I was there for it. And if anyone wants to say that characters dying is a spoiler, James Gunn uses that as a selling point for this movie in trailers and interviews. So, not a spoiler, okay? Okay, in the comments below, not a spoiler. Now, moving on to the actual characters themselves, James Gunn is a master of getting us to care for characters, you know, creating moments that really connect and we can relate to on screen. And I would definitely say that the heart of this movie is Bloodsport and Ratcatcher 2. Those two we get to connect with the most, and their on-screen chemistry is fantastic as well. Their relationship is very heartwarming, and there are a few moments in the movie where I was like, aww, I really care about these characters, and that is always good in a movie when you care about the characters, because it adds to the stakes, adds to everything, because you care about this journey that these people are on. Also, I want to shout out Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag, who got a lot of stick after the first movie, and I don't think it was all his fault. And in this film, he absolutely smashed it in both the action scenes and the emotional scenes, and I was there for his character. He's so good in this movie. Him and Harlequin, I could watch them all day. I thought he absolutely smashed it in this film. The villain is terrifying in this movie. James Gunn said when he read about it in the comics as a child, it gave him nightmares, and thankfully he brought it to the big screen, because it is terrifying, and I completely understand why it gave him nightmares. And it's something like we've never seen in the superhero genre before, and that is refreshing, and I loved it, and I was very much there for it. It was a very cool villain, and Thank you, James Gunn, for bringing it to the big screen. You're a legend. There is a good amount of comedy in this movie as well. I found myself cracking up quite a bit, and James Gunn is the master of knowing when to put a joke. He doesn't put it in serious moments that just completely destroys an emotional moment. He puts it in moments where there should be a joke, and that makes all the comedy a lot more effective, and the serious moments stay serious. And James Gunn, once again, you are great. The special effects in this movie are sublime, as are the costumes and makeup, and the cinematography in this film is beautiful. Every single shot is stunning. I found myself not wanting to blink. That's how beautiful this movie is. I cannot give them enough praise. The best thing about this movie is that this take on the superhero genre felt refreshing and new. James Gunn said that for the superhero genre to survive, unlike the Western genre, it needs to evolve, change, and I fully agree, especially when we get movies as good as The Suicide Squad because of it. So James Gunn, I salute you. I feel like this review is mostly just me fanboying over James Gunn as director, and I'm okay with that. Overall, I think this is the best movie of the year so far, and is easily in my top 5 favourite superhero movie films of all time. I think it's just going to get better with each viewing, so I 100% recommend checking out this movie. I think you're going to have a blast, and let me know down in the comments below if you will be checking this one out. If you did enjoy this review, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.